Hi.
Hello.
We're back.
We're back.
Clint has no idea what this video is.
I don't have a clue.
Yesterday was Valentine's Day.
And right.
So I thought we would answer some questions.
Sure.
About
this whole thing we got going on?
Yeah. We have 15 questions.
15 questions.
And we'll try not to just talk and talk and talk. All right.
Number one.
Question number one. When and where did we meet?
Well, that's easy. We met
in 2002.
2002, May the 4th.
At a Star Wars party.
At a Star Wars party. At our good friend Matt Sewing's house. And boy, was that a blast.
I thought it was extremely nerdy. I was only going to this Star Wars party because of a boy who wasn't Clint, had the biggest crush on this guy, and then we met.
And then we went swimming at your friend's cousin's pool.
Yeah, this whole time. Okay,
there's a whole story here.
Yeah.
There's a whole story.
We met, and I knew who he was because my friend...
My reputation preceded me.
My friend that I had a crush on was the band manager of Clint's band.
That's right.
And
high school bands need managers too.
Yeah. So this whole time, until probably about a year or two ago, I thought we met at this party, and Clint and another one of our friends, Andrew, I thought they just followed us to where I was staying. It was
arranged. We weren't creeping.
Right, but I thought that they were creepers. But as like a teenager, I was like, cute creepers. That's cool. Cute creepers are never cool.
Yeah, don't cool a creep.
So that's where we met.
What a night.
Number two.
Number two.
How old were you when you first met?
18.
I was 16.
All right.
Was it love at first sight?
Nope.
I don't believe in love at first sight. But no, it was not.
Well, love at first sight does exist. Just not for us. And that's okay.
Lust at first sight exists.
Oh, whatever.
Love at first sight does not.
Okay. Well, that could be argued.
Okay. How long have you been married?
We have been married since August 2nd, 2014, which is almost 7.5 years ago. Yeah. I think that's true.
Yeah. It'll be 8 years this year. It's an even number. Where did you go on your honeymoon?
Ha!
Controversial.
What a joke that is.
We didn't go on a honeymoon.
Correction. We have not yet gone on a honeymoon. The hope is still alive.
Well, I don't really know what consists of a honeymoon because we've gone on plenty of trips.
Right. Well, a honeymoon is going to a place after you get married for the express purpose of traveling together somewhere. So we have traveled together some places.
And we've traveled just for the purpose of traveling together.
Well, kind of. But we didn't think it was our honeymoon, so it wasn't. Because we could decide whenever it was our honeymoon or when it wasn't.
But we didn't actually take a trip after our wedding because...
Correct. Because we had obligations.
I was in school,
right.
You had just got
a
new job? Did you have a new job?
Yes, I got my new job then. So we haven't gone on a honeymoon yet. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
I declare it so.
This is an interesting one.
Here we go.
I like it.
Here we go.
Number 6. What is your favorite memory together? I know. I've been thinking about this since I came up with this question. And it's
I'm going to need a moment.
I know.
You go ahead. I mean, recent memory comes when you and I got this house. When we walked in with the keys the first time without that heinous bitch with us.
Oh.
Yeah. That was a pretty serious moment for our relationship. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I really liked that.
But, okay. There are two different Clints and Lilies. There's friend Clint and Lili, and then there's friend Clint and Lili, which is where we are now. But I think one of my favorite, it's not just one memory, but it's like a feeling associated with what happened. And when I was a senior in high school, I worked at the local A&W.
As you do.
And Clint would drive all the way from where he lived, which was like an hour and a half.
It was only an hour and a half, hour, 45 minutes.
And he would drive and come visit me at work.
Yeah.
And we were just friends. Like, there literally was nothing.
We're buds.
Yeah, like, we were just
Buds.
BFFs, yeah. But it was just so nice, and I just remember, because a lot of times it wasn't planned. He would just show up when I'd be working, and it was really a nice feeling.
Yeah. Well, along those same lines then,
Yeah.
was when you and Trisha showed up randomly at our show in Indiana when we were on tour.
Yeah.
Winter of 0405.
I was so naive. I thought that I had to work the next day on New Year's Day. So this was New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And we were just driving to Indiana for this show.
Screw it.
And I thought, I can work the next day. I'm definitely going to make it to work.
That's absurd.
But then we got caught in a snowstorm, and I didn't even drink. So it's not that I was, like, super wasted and hungover. Like, we could have made it home, but there was a snowstorm,
Right.
and we literally couldn't. So I missed work, and I had to call in. I'm pretty sure they thought I was just drunk.
What a fun New Year's.
That was nice, though.
Yeah, I would say that and when you came to visit me in DC, like just those times of like
Yeah.
going to where each of one of us were at various times, I think makes me happy, and I think really built us up, our friendship.
Yeah. I also really liked when we were just friends. Clint would come over to my apartment, and he would always bring cookies,
Yes.
chocolate chip cookies specifically, from the PDQ gas station.
And peanut butter.
And peanut butter cookies?
And a
I
bunch
always
of
wanted-
chocolate milk.
Yeah. And scratch tickets.
What they were is like it is a stomach ache kit.
And then scratch, like lottery scratch tickets?
Yes.
So we would scratch the crossword scratch ticket and just eat cookies?
Yeah.
I really liked that.
The most we won on one of those was $50.
How much do you think you...
I probably spent $150.
I
maybe.
never paid for one.
Yeah. I just, whatever.
Yeah.
Can't win if you don't play.
There's a lot of memories. We've obviously known each other for 20 years now.
Yeah.
Wow.
20 years. 20 years this year. Wow.
I think the most fun I've had, like, in our relationship was, like, traveling different places. And I think when we were in Lima...
When we lived in Lima, that was pretty legit.
Yeah, we lived there. I was there for about 6 months, and Clint was there a little bit longer.
Yep.
And
That was a good time.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, we loved Lima. Learned a lot about each other, learned a lot about ourselves.
Took a couple trips.
Learned a lot about Peru. It's part of the reason why we're here again.
Yeah.
I proposed to Lily there.
Yeah.
We had the second election of Barack Obama there. We had
Number 7.
number 7.
Do you have the same taste in music?
Ooh. As when we met?
Like...
Oh, like between each other?
Yeah.
I
I think for the most part...
I think both of us appreciate what either of us listen to.
Yeah.
We do have a lot of overlap. Like
Yeah.
90% of what we
yeah.
listen to overlaps.
Like our teenage 20-year-old
We're
playlist.
stuck there.
Yeah, like we like the same stuff from that time.
Although, like since we moved to Peru, I've definitely found more new stuff.
Yeah, and I listen to more classical music.
Right.
Now I listen to classical music more than any other genre, probably.
Sure.
But I think I'd also be more apt or like open to like current pop music that's out, like to listen to that. Although
I wouldn't really.
I don't seek it out.
Right. But I mean, if I had to answer the question, yes or no, absolutely yes. I would say so.
What's your dream vacation spot?
What's our
I can
dream
answer
vacation
that
spot?
specifically now.
Really?
Because we haven't
It's gonna
gone
be news to me.
anywhere. No, you know.
Okay.
We haven't gone anywhere in a long time. We went to the United States. We talked about
Doesn't
this.
count.
Yeah, it doesn't count. I want to go, and we've wanted to go to Colombia for a long time.
Oh yeah.
But now I specifically want to go to a city that I wasn't sure I wanted to visit, just because I didn't know anything about it, and I was like, But
the more you learn about Colombia,
yeah,
the more you're hooked in.
So Colombia,
Yeah.
Specifically, a castle that's in Colombia. I want to stay there.
In Medellin.
Yeah.
It's apparently available. You could just Airbnb it.
Yeah.
It's bonkers. We're going there.
What's your dream vacation? vacations?
Colombia. I want to go to Cartagena. I want to go to Medellin, and I want to go to Bogota.
Maybe I'm taking that back now.
Uh-oh.
I really want to go to Europe.
Yes.
Like, but that's not like vacation to me. That's like a big trip. Big trip and vacation are different in my brain.
I don't really want to go to Europe. I mean, I want to go to Europe. There's things to see there, and there's history to chase, and et cetera, et cetera. But like if you had to sit me down and be like, hey, which one do you want to go to? I would stick to the Americas for sure. Mexico, Colombia, here I come.
All right.
Next.
Favorite thing to do together.
Favorite thing to do together. I don't know if it's our favorite thing to do. It's the thing we spend a lot of our time doing together. It's playing board games.
Yeah, we play a lot.
We're pretty big on board games. Lately, it's been Terraforming Mars and Bird Game,
which is also known as Wingspan.
Yeah. Fantastic games.
Favorite thing to do together. I think travel.
I mean, yeah, but that's everyone's favorite thing to do, isn't it?
I don't think so.
No?
Some people can't travel with their partners.
Sucks to be you guys.
How about that?
Huh.
I think that's my favorite thing. But like general everyday thing.
Yeah.
I really like so nerdy.
Uh-oh.
I really like watching Star Trek with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I since we've been watching Star Trek again, by the way, we've watched Star Trek straight through about 3 times together.
Yeah.
Not to mention the literal millions of times I watched it when I was a kid. Literally millions of times.
But a couple of those times we've been introducing friends to Star Trek, so we've watched it straight through.
Right,
with
but it's
our
always
friends.
been with you and I.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, every time I watch it, The Next Generation, with Lily, I get a new appreciation of some detail. And it kind of get me right now. Like, there's so much about that series that is so damn good. I'm so happy to share it with you and with other people. And
it's, like, really nice because the themes in the different episodes you can, like, discuss afterwards.
Right.
And I think that's what makes it special. Like,
no, it'll be relevant forever.
Yeah.
The show is amazing. If you haven't watched Star Trek: Next Generation, don't watch season 1. Just watch season 2 through 7, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
Favorite board game or card game to play?
Well, we fucked it then. So thank you, Austin and Kathy, for introducing us. Terraforming Mars is easily my favorite board game. I could play that board game back to back, days in a row, and it would be awesome each time.
Well, and there's so many different expansions.
Oh yeah. There's way more variables than you could ever fully explore.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's cool. But card game, my favorite. I don't play a lot of like cards, but Clint's family plays a card game called Scratch, which is really fun. It's also known as Up and Down the River.
Yeah, Shit on Your Neighbor.
Shit on Your
There's
Neighbor.
A bunch of different ones. If you've got 4 people or more, it's an awesome game.
Yeah,
it's
not
awesome,
with two people.
You can play it with 2 and it's fine. I like it.
It's just different.
Yeah.
Okay. What are your house goals?
Ha! I don't even know where to start.
We have a mini house goals.
Oh man, we got so much house. I would say for me, getting all the windows replaced, because that just makes rooms feel so much better.
It's not a fun thing, but it's...
it makes you know you've arrived at a certain age when you're excited about windows.
Yeah.
But also, for our solar array, I'm really excited to get batteries and fully maximize the investment we've made in our solar energy system. We've already saved oodles of money. Thank you to our neighbors as well.
I was thinking about like the fun things. We talked about this in our, I don't know if it was the last video or the one before that, but I wanted to redo the kitchen.
Yes, the kitchen needs a redo.
New cupboards.
Yep.
Just an update, and then right now we're on our roof. And I really want to like set the roof up to be like a cozy lounge spot.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunately quite low on the list because it's not like necessary. There are other things that are necessary, like windows and.
Right. We need to get a roof on the thing behind us.
Yeah. But those are my 2 that I would really like to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we could just do it. Question number 12.
Question number 12.
This is fun. What do you disagree on?
Yes. Oh.
I think, for the most part, like big things, we
lucked out.
on.
We have like pretty identical worldviews.
Well, we didn't luck out. I think.
Fair enough.
I mean,
not nothing to do with luck.
When you have like a partner, you should know what their big views are and like what their thoughts are on things.
Right.
Otherwise, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think we don't really disagree. I think that we visualize things differently, which sometimes creates a little, like, strife.
Wow.
That's not the right word, but, like, Clint will try to explain something to me, and I can't picture it the way he describes it.
You don't even try. I'm kidding.
So, it's just learning to, like, not communicate differently, but then, like...
But kind of.
Kind of, but then showing what you mean,
Right,
or...
Be
like
a little more patient.
Yeah, sometimes I just need, like, a picture of, like, whatever he's describing, because I can't...
We might disagree on when someone should do the dishes, which, for me, is, like, up to 2 hours after you eat. Because
2 hours?
Up to 2... Yeah! Some things, you gotta soak them. Here we are, disagreeing, look at us.
Up to 5 hours. You would be perfectly happy to let the dishes sit in the sink all day. Lead by example, people.
Perfectly happy, I wouldn't go that far. I do dishes. I don't do dishes.
Okay.
Obviously something we disagree about.
Dishes.
Dishes.
I like this one. Are the kitties mama's boys and girls or daddy's boys and girls?
And yours, they're mama's boys and girls because you feed them.
Yeah.
I feed them occasionally, but not enough to, like, where they're like, oh, this is the humans feeding me.
Well, but also I am around more. I work in a common
Right.
area of the house, so they
Right.
always see me and they follow me around.
Right,
and
But they snuggle me at night.
Yeah, they like laying with Clint a lot at nighttime.
I think I don't toss and turn as much. I think they like that.
I flap.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're generally mama's boys and girl.
Yeah.
Although Pete's more of a daddy's girl, I think.
Yeah, Pete comes to me a lot. She asks me for things. And she doesn't really ask you for things until I'm in the room. I come in the room and she's like, oh, now it's time.
What is the secret to a long and happy relationship, in your opinion?
Communication.
Mm-hmm.
If there's so much that can be avoided in conflict between people, if you just know what the other person's thinking, feeling, considering, how they're approaching the situation, like, just talk to each other.
And that goes for all relationships. It doesn't matter if it's an intimate partner or not. But
business partners, right. Communication is going to save so much problem.
And along that same vein, again, like, when you get into a relationship, knowing what those big picture or big ideas are, just save yourself some problems. And if they don't line up, I mean, there's a good chance that's going to create rifts down the road.
Especially if it's significant stuff. Like, one person wants to have children, but the other one doesn't. Like,
yeah. If it's something you're passionate about, or know yourself and know that that's a thing.
Right.
Like, just, that's...
I think also a lot of people, and it doesn't need to be this way, like, we have an eminent ability to meet a lot of people now. And I'm not saying, like, meeting people through the internet is the way to go or whatever, but my point is like, we have access to such a larger community of people now.
Yeah.
That this old concept, I think it's an old concept, and I think it's something that's going to change a lot in the coming, like, decades. Like, this concept of I found someone and they've given me attention, and not that I want to, like, latch onto them, but like I can't imagine moving on to another person.
Well, it's I think before it was sometimes hard to find, like, your people and, like, find a niche of someone who fit you and your ideals and your hobbies and, you know, just different...
But now there's a lot of well-known ways to do that. And again, I'm not even just saying, like, internet dating.
It's not the only way to go, but it makes it easier.
It makes it a little easier, but, like, I wouldn't even date on the internet. I'm just saying. But there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But, like, there's so much ability we have now to meet people of a similar worldview in so many different places now. Music concerts, the library, political events. Like, politics in our country has become such a huge thing where it's really easy, more or less, because we've allowed ourselves to become this way as a country. But it's super easy to find someone who shares your worldview now. It's super easy because everyone's pretty much wearing it on their sleeve, I think. There's just so many more ways now to meet people who I think you're more compatible with
Yeah.
than there was like in our parents' generation.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Last question. This is fun. What was your first date?
Ooh. What was our first date?
We didn't really have a first date.
I mean, I'm sure there is a first date, but like not something that we were like, oh, we're good at dating now. And
I specifically remember once, because it's a slippery line, because obviously we were friends for so long,
right,
and then transitioning to like an intimate relationship. But I specifically remember when we made that choice, and I think we were both a little unsure of how to act because
right. Because there was a lot of stakes.
Yeah.
For us, we were really, really, really good friends, and so
Yeah.
to lose that would have been catastrophic for both of us, I
Yeah.
think.
And I remember we were going to a bookstore after work, and we were both just kind of quiet. I think we just didn't really know how to act. And Clint just kind of grabbed my hand, and we held hands. And then after it was like, oh, all right, well, that's fine.
A somewhat kind of first date, if you want to consider it, was that time when you came to D.C.
Mm-hmm.
And I was beginning to have feelings for her, but I did not know how to massage the situation such that we remained friends.
Yeah, it's hard.
And incorporating these feelings that I was having and we were having.
Yeah. And we had been friends for how many years before we actually like?
I mean, that would have been year 8.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a long time.
It's a long time.
And we were like best friends.
Right. And she came to D.C. to visit me because I had been moving around a little bit in D.C. and doing various things, and this was the second time we had come to D.C. to visit. And we went to a steakhouse.
I wasn't a vegetarian then. But we went to like a nice restaurant.
Yeah, it was a little goofy. I was still learning D.C. I was still trying to figure myself out in a lot of ways.
But we didn't start dating after.
Yeah, that wasn't like a dating time. That was more like me trying to get across that I was feeling something, but I wasn't quite sure how to...
It was... Yeah.
Go ahead, what?
It was just awkward because
it was awkward.
When I am overcome by emotion, I don't respond. It's not that I don't respond well, it's that I just don't respond at all. And so Clint was like...
In fact, on that note, because we had this conversation at the restaurant, and then we ate.
Yeah.
And then we were on the subway going back to my place, and I thought, I was like, well, I screwed this up. And you were just like, Mum.
Yeah.
So, like, it was... I thought that I screwed the thing up, but it was just your response to something like that.
Because I had known before Clint that I had feelings for him, but just didn't pursue anything because I didn't want to, mess it up.
And just to fully illustrate that point of, like, your lack of response with emotional things.
Yeah.
When I proposed, she didn't say anything.
Yeah. But to be fair, like, after that night, we later, like, continued to talk about it.
Right.
So it's not like we
Right.
just didn't talk about it. Like,
Right. It wasn't like a flipping a switch for both of us. Like, oh, we both like each other. Bang. No, it literally took almost a year and a half.
No, it was like 6 months because you traveled for a bit, but then you came back to the Wisconsin.
Was it that long?
Maybe 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it wasn't a flipping a switch and it was done. There
It's
was
not
a
that we
process
had a
there.
first date.
Right. There was a process of getting used to those feelings and getting closer and then like at the right moment when things were happening in both of our lives and it became compatible, then we're like, okay.
Yeah.
Then it made sense at that point. Then it was very... In fact, it's funny to look back on it now as to how that process went, because it only could have happened kind of, sort of, in the way that it did. Like, expressing these feelings to each other over some months, and then I had kind of a moment where I was trying to take advantage of certain opportunities, left D.C., came back to Madison, and then it was like, okay, well, now that we're in the same place together and we've been communicating these things, now we can do something about it.
And that's it. That's your Valentine's video.
Happy Valentine's Day! Woo!
We don't even celebrate Valentine's Day, really. It's not a holiday that I enjoy.
And this year I was sequestered for COVID. I just tested negative for COVID today. Yay!
So that's it. We're gonna call it good, and hopefully we can keep doing more videos for you guys.
Thanks, people.
See you later.
Ciao, ciao.